Monday, November 27th. Today was supposed to be the day. Mom insisted that I stay at home, although I told her that I felt fine. I thought all day about Eric and Arthur. At 10 a.m., I thought to myself, Eric and Arthur have no idea at this moment that they're going to face Louis again this afternoon, and that this time he won't be alone. At noon, I thought the same thing, and I thought it again at 2. I wondered if Eric would walk through the kitchen door with his eyes swollen and black, or with his nose broken. I wondered what kinds of questions Mum would ask him, and would he answer them? I figured that Eric and Arthur would take time to make up a mutual story, a mutual lie, like they'd gotten jumped by 10 guys from Tangerine High School, maybe the same guys that had vandalized our neighborhood. That would sound a lot better than the truth, that their own teammates despised them so much that they helped a stranger beat them up. Anyway, Eric did walk through the kitchen door, but something obviously had gone wrong. He went straight to the refrigerator and grabbed a can of soda. I looked right at his face. There wasn't a mark on him. It hadn't happened. Something had gone wrong. I was disappointed but still confident. Something had gone wrong, that was all. I sat down at the kitchen table and tried to think. Could it still happen to Eric and Arthur? When? How? Then it came to me. Yes, it could still happen. It could happen on Friday, outside of the senior awards night. If Louis asks me about another time and place, that's what I'll tell him. Mum walked in with the phone. I hadn't even heard it ring. She said, "Not too long, please. I have calls to make before the homeowners' meeting tonight." I pressed the button. "Hello?" "Hi, Paul. It's Carrie." I held the phone out at arm's length. Then I shook my head like a wet dog trying to clear my thoughts. I finally said, "Hi." "Yeah, hi. I figured you were never going to call me, so I decided to call you." "Uh-huh. Look, I'm sorry, I've been meaning to call you." I held out my hands in a gesture that she would never see. "I just didn't." "Well, that's okay. Do you want to talk to me now?" "Sure." "I guess the last time I saw you was at the soccer game. You guys have a really great team." "Thanks." "I think it's really great that you have girls and boys." "Yeah, it was great. Did you see the paper yesterday?" "I sure did." 3 girls from our team made all-county." "I saw that." "Yeah. Did you see that thing about planting a tree for Mike Costello?" "Uh-huh." "Are you going to go? It's Friday night." "Oh, yeah, I'm going." "Because I'm going too." "Oh, yeah?" "Yeah." There was a pause, and then she said, "Joey's having some kids over to his house afterward. Would you like to come with me? As my date?" I didn't hesitate at all. I said, "Sure." "Great." I added, "Thanks for asking me." "Sure thing." "Does Joey know you're asking me?" "Oh yeah, he knows. He says we can ride over there with him and Kara." I had a sudden crazy picture in my head. Could Joey be listening to this? Could he be on the extension? Mom came in and pointed at the clock. I said, "I'm sorry, I have to go. I'll see you at the gym on Friday." "Okay, great. Bye." "Bye." Mom said, "Who was that?" "Carrie Gardner from Lake Windsor Middle. We're going over to Joey's house on Friday night after the ceremony." Mom took in this information. She waited, I guess for more, but I didn't say anything else, so she started making her calls to the homeowners. It didn't sound like too many were interested in her meeting. Mr. Costello arrived first at about 8 o'clock. I answered the door and let him in. He gave me a friendly greeting, as usual. I claimed my seat in the alcove at Dad's IBM. I pulled up the Eric Scholarship Offers file as Mum and Mr. Costello settled into the living room. Dad has been working on the file again. He's added the names and phone numbers of scouts and alumni boosters from the three Florida schools, people like Mr. Donnelly and Larry and Frank. He's also noted that a press packet from the Times has been sent to those schools. He hasn't added anything more to the page 1 schools. And get this, the page 2 schools are gone. Deleted. Trash canned. The Houston schools and any other non-contenders for the national title are gone. They have no place in the Eric Fisher football dream. I clicked out of the file and started listening to the meeting. Mom was taking notes as Mr. Costello rattled off a series of items. a Rolex watch, a diamond stick pin, a 24-karat gold bracelet. I logged off and walked into the great room. Mum didn't suggest that I leave, so I joined them. I asked, "What are you writing down, Mum?" Mum looked at me with a pained expression. Was I being a pain? "These are items that were stolen from the tented houses." Dad came in and sat in one of the folding chairs. He didn't say anything to us. He didn't even look at us. It was like we weren't there. He just stared straight ahead at the fireplace, like he was waiting for it to flame on. The doorbell rang, so I went to answer it. I let in a group of 4 homeowners. Mum suggested that they begin the meeting right away, since no other people were expected. It was smaller and friendlier than most homeowners' meetings. The 8 of us listened as Mr. Costello read the financial reports. Then he turned to the old business. "We have good news on a couple of fronts. All I can say is thank God for that freeze. It killed off the mosquitoes, so we were able to cancel that guy with the gas masks and the sprayer." Mum said, "Thank God is right." The freeze also signals the end of the thunderstorm season. This is a fact that Mrs. Fisher and I have both brought to Bill Donnelly's attention. We have suggested a compromise to him, that he remove his string of lightning rods for now and put them back up next summer. He has agreed to think about it. The man from the yellow Tudor asked, "What about the termites?" The freeze might have helped us there, too. I just don't know. 3 houses have tents now, which makes a total of 25 so far in the development. "And the robberies?" Mr. Costello nodded solemnly. "There were 2 more robberies of tented houses since our last meeting. In both cases, robbers smashed a window, ran in, and ran out with cash and jewelry. The deputies say they have some leads, but that's all they're willing to tell us at this point." The same man said, "I saw a guy sitting outside a tented house with a shotgun." Everyone reacted to that, and he continued, "He's one of your neighbors, Jack. He's sitting outside in his lawn chair all night long with a shotgun across his lap." Mr. Costello said, "Thanks for telling me. I'll talk to him. If that doesn't do any good, I'll have the sheriff's department talk to him. We can't have that." Everyone agreed. "He's going to wind up shooting some late-night jogger." The woman from the White York asked, "What about the front, Jack? That's looking kind of run down." "The front is looking bad because of the freeze. Those plants are supposed to be cold-hardy, but nothing is going to come through a freeze like that completely undamaged." The same woman asked, "Did the freeze kill off the rest of your fish?" "No, we can't blame the freeze for that. Those koi are cold-hardy. That pond could freeze a foot thick, and they'd be okay under the ice. We believe that some local person stole them and sold them." I said, "I don't believe that." They all turned and stared at me as if they'd just noticed that I was sitting there. Then they all turned back. They were about to ignore me and go on when I added, "That doesn't make any sense." They turned toward me again. "Think about it. How could some local person, some koi thief from Tangerine, stop at the front of our development in that wide open space without anyone seeing him? How could he fish for, catch, and drive away with a big string of giant orange shiny fish with no one seeing him?" Mr. Costello answered, "I don't know, Paul. Maybe because he does it in the middle of the night when people are asleep. Anyway, it's the only theory we have, unless you have a better one." "The ospreys," I said. They all stared at me blankly. "The ospreys? The birds of prey from those giant nests out on Route 89? They swoop down, snatch up the koi, and fly back to their nests. No one sees them, no one thinks about them, no one suspects them." Mr. Costello seemed annoyed. They all did. He said, "You've seen this happen?" "I've seen them flying west with the fish in their talons." "How did you know they were our fish?" "They were big and orange and shiny." They all looked at each other. No one spoke. Finally, Mum said to me, "Paul, if you knew about this, why didn't you ever tell anyone?" "No one ever asked me." She looked at me with the pained expression again. "Is there anything else we should ask you about?" "What do you mean?" "Do you know anything about the robberies?" "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." Mum nodded. She believed me. The rest of them now seemed to be waiting for me to leave, so I got up. She winked at me and said, "Thanks. Good night." As I started out, I heard one of the homeowners ask, "Did anybody see that Eyewitness News team report on the sinkhole?" The one where they found out the county never surveyed the construction site? Why can't we get that eyewitness news team out here? They can shoot pictures of the muck fire. We show them to the county and demand action." The guy looked around for support. Nobody moved. And he added, "And if that doesn't work, we can sue the county." Mr. Costello half smiled and pointed at Dad. "We'd be suing our host here." Dad jumped to his feet and gestured for the crowd's attention. He looked absolutely frazzled. "I want you all to know something. I am determined to change things. That sort of nonsense, an unsurveyed construction site, will never happen again in this county. I can't change the past, but I'm putting some big changes in place, for now and for the future." The homeowners listened, then turned to other matters. I continued on upstairs. I have to wonder about Dad, though. He was a wreck just now. He was coming unglued. What is going on in his head?